think of when you hear the word flood? I think most of the people in this room would think of raging rivers, rainstorms, and tsunamis flooding an area with large quantities of water. And indeed, water floods are one of the most destructive forms of natural disasters. But today, I want to take a look beyond water floods and take a look at non-water floods. Believe it or not, throughout history, there have been multiple incidents of non-water floods, such as on January 15th, 1919. It was a cold day in Boston, around 4 degrees Celsius. People went to work as usual, and children played on the streets. But little do they know, a massive tank containing 2.3 million gallons of molasses suddenly collapsed. If you were wondering what 2.3 million gallons of molasses was doing there, it was to distill alcohol. As the massive cylinder came tumbling down, it released a brown tsunami of molasses as high as 25 feet and as fast as 50 kilometers per hour, meaning you cannot outrun it. The damage afterwards was comparable to a medium-sized tornado. 21 people got injured and 5 people died from the incident. But what made molasses so special? Well, if you get stuck in something as sticky and hard to get out of as molasses, you are cooked. Because once you get in, you cannot get out. Imagine being stuck in a big pool of honey. You can't do anything. And B, if somebody wanted to rescue you from the molasses, they would either have to A, also get in the hot molasses, or wait several days for the molasses to harden and for you to be able to walk on the molasses and get you out of it. After the disaster, the cleanup crew had to use salt water from the Boston Bay to clean out all of the molasses, and the bay was apparently stained brown for multiple months. This incident is now called the Great Molasses Flood. Another tale took place on June 18, 1875 in Dublin, Ireland. A fire had been raging for several hours in multiple blocks in Dublin, and it spread to a moat house which contained over 5,000 barrels of whiskey. Because whiskey was flammable, the barrels exploded and released the whiskey out in the streets, sending a cascade of what is basically liquid fuel. Now, you would think that people would start running away from the flood, but this is Dublin, Ireland. Irelanders were very passionate about drinking beer and whiskey. So they ended up drinking from the streets. Some people drank directly from the streets, and more classy people took off their boots and used it as a makeshift cup. By the end of the incident, 13 people died. From what? Burns? No. Drowning? No. But alcohol poisoning from drinking too much alcohol. These disasters teach us something important. Do stupid things and get stupid results. Back to you, Toastmaster.